gentlemen, and circus performers worldwide. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Emo Brown, the podcast, the interview series, a little local love Monday, bringing you all the stories from people in the community who are doing good in their hood. Today, this episode, as all episodes, are brought to you by the wonderful people at Grasshopper. That's right, gang. Grasshopper, for all your medicinal recreational cannabis needs. $12 gets you 3 pre-rolls with my beautiful face smoking a cannabis stick. Can we call it a cannabis stick? Is that something we're okay to?
I'm okay with that.
A cannabis stick. This is a cannabis stick available at Grasshopper. Go on Tuesdays. Toker Tuesdays makes it happen. Today, circus performers. We're going to learn all about them, or at least one of them. Joining us today for Local Love Monday is Hannah from Flexion. Welcome, welcome, welcome. From what I hear, we've been trying to get this together for a while now.
That we have. I finally got tucked into it.
Wait a second. You needed to get tucked into this?
Yeah, well, you know, it's not every day you get to go and talk about yourself on a podcast.
Yes, this is the day.
I actually just started listening to podcasts for the first time.
What was the first podcast you listened to?
And why was it Emo Brown?
You know, it should have been Emo Brown, but it was actually Eckhart Tolle.
Oh, okay. Well, if she listened to us, she wouldn't be here today. I can pretty much assure you that. How's her vocal coming in? Good?
It's good.
All right, perfect.
A little quiet. We could bring it a little closer.
You're a professional. Jesus. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about Flexion. Tell us a little bit about circus performing. Tell us how much work, strength, energy goes into actually doing this. But tell us about yourself.
Well, I've been a hand balancing contortionist for about 15 years.
Hand balancing contortionist.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm not only flexible, but I also do various poses in a hand balancing position. And I actually started when I was 17 years old, which is actually quite late for a circus performer to start. But I walked into a circus studio one day. At the time, it was Sophia Sadora Circus Academy, and I never left. And I've been there ever since. I also inherited the company when my coach retired, and I had also started my own business, which is Flexion as well. But what led me up to the point of becoming a circus performer, which, by the way, I had no idea, that circus even existed at that point. I was just looking for a way to get in shape. I was like doing hair and stuff at that time, working at coffee shops, different things. But I've always been drawn to the arts, and I've always been drawn to theater. So when I found out that you could actually train to become a circus performer, that was it. My mind was made up.
What about circus performing grabbed you or caught your attention?
This is something that I will say to this day that I love about circus, because it's really separated from your basic sports that you get most of the time, right? Like we've got football, cheerleading, soccer, ballet, all these things, but they tend to have more, like you have to be a certain way and everyone needs to be the same way to be in that sport. So, but circus is this mixture of beauty that you don't have to fit into the perfect point shoe. You don't have to be a great goalie. You don't have to fit into that specific line, and you get to be whatever you want. Like you've got people balancing on champagne bottles. You have people hanging by their hair. You have people walking the tight wire. You have people doing contortion like I do. And it's weird. It's so fucking weird. And
aerial
it's amazing.
acrobatics too, right?
Yes.
That's the first thing that drew me to the circus performing. The aerial, that looks scary. That looks overwhelming.
Everybody loves the aerial arts. I'm not teaching aerial at Flexion right now. Insurance is kind of high to hang children by their necks. But
I bet.
Yeah, so we kind of stay away from that a little bit right now. But
that sounds like an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
It is. Everyone loves aerial, but I personally love hand balancing.
I love Little Mermaid. I had to sneak that in, dog. I had to sneak that in, dog. Little Mermaid, big fan. Go ahead.
I'm a big fan, too. But so, I'm making it sound easy. Like I just walked in and I became, a hand balancer. But it's a long journey. So when you want to get involved in a circus sport, it's very tedious and difficult. And I remember my coach always telling me, like, you're going to meet the darkest parts of yourself through this training. And when someone tells you they want to be a hand balancer, she'd always say, I'm sorry. Because it's hard. It's difficult. So you have to learn to retrain your body basically to walk upside down. Your hands become your feet. And along that journey, there's lots of struggles with gaining the strength. Like this, you're looking at a 10-year commitment. Minimum.
Just to kind of get a full scope of training your body to do new things.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Not to mention we've got life working against us in gravity. So we've got things like bad posture, got things like sitting like we are now, which isn't great for our hips,
No,
different things.
how should we be sitting?
Isn't it? Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out.
There it is.
Everybody listening immediately just sat up.
You can't really sit right in these chairs, though. So
Okay.
In your defense, you should get some new chairs.
Put that down on the budget, Gus. We're going to get new chairs, Hannah said.
Gus, get on camera.
They go, oh, hey. He doesn't even stand with good posture. Go ahead.
So when you go upside down, your alignment has to be really good. And you have to be strong because gravity is going to be pushing on you in the other direction. So I always say all your secrets come out. So if you've got like, neck pain, knee pain, any of those things, you're going to feel it tenfold upside down just because gravity is going to be hitting you differently. So you have to train your body how to do all of these types of things. You have to train your posture well. You have to make sure all your joints are getting proper rotation. And that's the part that takes the longest because then you want to be able to healthily be able to put your feet in front of your face, be able to balance on your shoulders. And you don't want to be in pain. You should never be in pain. So we always like to say, good training from a good coach, you'll be able to do it for decades.
I've seen some of your videos on Instagram, and I've seen, joining us on the cancel couch today is none other than Vernie. Vernie, holding it down. Some of her videos, and because you posted on your story a lot, Vernie, about how you guys are, what are they called? The chin-ups, where you're putting your chin like flat on
Chin stand.
Those things look crazy painful.
That's like the ultimate contortion move. It's very traditional skill in circus to do a chin stand where you balance your weight on your chest and you have your feet in front of your face.
And Vernie kind of like presented this art. I had no idea. And all of a sudden she's like, can I have a keg so I can use it for some working out? I was like, by all means. And she started decorating it and this. And then she's like, hey, I'm having a performance. We're doing this. I said, we're going to get you guys on the podcast. And this was like over a year ago. And then it just kind of slowly started coming together. So Vernie, thank you for being on the podcast today and for going to share your story.
Oh,
but not right now. But hold on.
we got Hannah here.
We got Hannah here. Hannah, as you were.
Well, bringing it to Vernie, though, I will say this is, again, coming back to that point about circus just being inviting to whatever creativity you feel like you want to bring to your act. Vernie works at a brewery. She carries kegs around. She asked me one day, and she's like, could I do this on a keg? And I'm like, fuck, yes, you could. And I love to be able to do that. When a student comes to me, they're like, oh, I really like this or I really like that. I'm like, build your act. Your act should be you entirely. It can be as weird as
Pretty
you want
unique
it to
then
be.
to bring in a keg to this kind of. Okay, cool.
100%.
Heck yeah.
And I'm always pushing her to get out there.
That was impressive. I don't think I can ever do that. That little leg thing you did, like, no, that's a rap.
Hey, that was pretty good.
That's a chin stand, right? That what we're talking about doing on top of a keg right here?
Oh my God. On the bottom. Oh yeah, look at that on the bottom. Is that what we're doing? That's impressive.
That's more of like the yoga style chin stand, I would say.
And you guys, circus performers, beef with yoga from everything I've read.
There's politics.
Okay.
There's
I was
politics.
absolutely inventing that, but apparently there's some deep-rooted feelings there.
No. I'm going to say I respect
All
people that
arts.
do yoga instructors all around the board. I think just in general, there's every sport. Like in circus, we have different politics between the Russian circus performers, the Chinese circus performers, and the Mongolian circus performers. So,
Who's the best?
the Mongolians, of course.
No doubt, hands down.
Yeah, that's how I was trained.
Get that? Hands down, Barry? Never mind.
I was Googling another chin stand. I'm sorry.
So I'm assuming you are of the Mongolian art, the background.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Yes, of course. The Mongolian art. I love it because it goes with more of the natural flexibility of the spine, where you keep a curve in the spine throughout. And then you also get to showcase more, sorry to the Russians, prettier shapes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You're going to have to bring a
Shots
Russian hand
fired.
balancer on here
Potatoes
soon.
fired. Vodka.
So it's a lot, there's a lot more flexibility involved in the Mongolian style. So it's a lot harder because you don't just get to train handstands, you have to train flexibility as well. So it's pretty much 50-50. So if you're more of a Russian hand balancer, you train flexibility less. And so Mongolian hand balancers are going to train flexibility and strength, and it's a very difficult combo.
Different attributes needed for all these different practices.
Of course, because when you think about flexibility, you think loose, long, able to move. But then when you think of muscle and strength, you think tightness, right? So you're asking your body to do two completely opposing things at the same time.
How long have you been doing this now?
Since I was 17, so it's been almost 15 years or so, yeah.
What drew you into the studio? What was it? What were you looking for when you saw a circus performer? What was it that was calling to you?
I think I look better upside down.
There it is. That's always a thing.
This is really
No. I think it's what I said. I think it's such a feminine beauty to be strong as a woman and still be able to showcase grace. You know, I feel like that's just like the ultimate femininity in my eyes. Like to be able to look at a woman being beautiful and see that she's completely sustaining herself, holding herself up upside down. I think it demands respect.
Hella deep. I'll take that. That was awesome.
Yeah. No, I really do. And my company, Art and Flexion, we are mostly women. We've had boys over the years, but I'm just telling you, they never hang out and stay. They're always like, okay, I've been here for a week. I'm stronger than her. I don't have to
That's
be here.
how it works?
I
Yeah.
swear.
Do you guys pretty much intimidate them, I'm assuming?
Something like that. They never stick around. But so we are mostly women. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm all about that. You know, building strong women, you know, the young girls that we have that grow up with us.
What is the age range at your studio?
I used to have a lot more kids before COVID. But right now, our youngest is 16. Our oldest is 65.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
What is the benefit of longevity with practicing this style of art? Contortionism, handstanding, just I guess the whole circus performing art.
Well, I think there's a physical strength aspect that's good in general for every human being to keep our joints happy, you know, to keep our bodies happy. Waking up in the morning not in pain is a great thing. You know, we're all supposed to
Physical pain, Barry, not that emotional thing you wake up with every morning.
Every day.
Yes, sir.
I didn't get to the emotional side yet.
Oh, here we go.
So I think the mental benefit, the emotional benefit is that you're teaching yourself a new skill. You're working on yourself. You're being with yourself, which is something I feel like, you know, for instance, corporate America really gets us away from these days. So it puts you in a present state and it brings you back to yourself and keeping that health rolling through your body. And that does something really strong for your mental well-being, you know. I always like to say with my students that I always hope that the physical strength will translate to your mental strength. So maybe next time you're having some bullshit in your life, which we all have sooner or later, you know, you get to be like, I balance on my hands, you know.
Therapeutic.
I work on myself. I'm strong, you know, and I can get through shit. And it's not that bad because you're facing that stuff in training, and your goal is to get stronger so you can do the next skill, right? And when you do, you're so proud of yourself.
Because you're unlocking levels.
Yes, you're unlocking levels, you know, and it gives you something to walk into an argument or to walk into a hurdle in life with a little bit different perspective.
Absolutely.
Like, you're going to get through it, and you're stronger. You got through this, and you got to the next level. You know, it's the same thing in life. I also really feel like I wish kids had this more in their lives these days because it's such a valuable skill to know that you can get through something and you can become stronger than the problem.
As a parallel, that was one of the main selling points I used for enrolling our 3 boys into jiu-jitsu with my wife. You know, I feel like it was an initial struggle, a little pushback, just because she really didn't know what jiu-jitsu was all about. But for what all of our kids have shown a growth, but I was really hoping that one of my kids would start showing a little bit more confidence by learning. And oh my God, as soon as they've been doing it now for about 2 years, 3 years, they have done a complete turnaround. I feel like they were a little bit on the introverted side, but now they know how to communicate, stand up for themselves. Something goes on around them, they know how to diffuse a situation if needed, not just their own. They know to use jiu-jitsu for all the positive aspects as opposed to just being a bully. So I feel like these kinds of arts, in all seriousness, we joke around it a lot here, but it's very helpful emotionally, physically, and just kind of unlocking an inner power, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And that actually really warms my heart, you sharing that story, because
I'm here to warm people's hearts just like this old fashioned is here to warm mine.
Oh, it's been warm in your heart for a little while, hasn't
It's
it?
a good one. Thank you, Paul. Go ahead.
No, it's a really great thing. So, I mean, something about myself probably that really leads me here is I grew up in a very tough family. I had a lot of brothers, and I was definitely looked down upon for being a female from my father, and wasn't really like taught much about how to handle my own emotions, and wasn't taught a lot about how to build my inner confidence. So, especially working with kids, I just feel like it's a true calling, you know, to really be able to instill that power in them is super important to me. And adults need that too, just like me growing up without that. You know, adults, it's about support. If you have support to work on yourself and support to get stronger, it's going to have a huge impact on your mental health.
It sounds like it's more of a therapy session as well when you guys are all together doing your things.
This is why I'm such a fan of the arts, and it's so underfunded and it doesn't get enough. But it's like a company called Coda once put it into words that I hadn't heard before, and it was arts integration. And they express about like how the arts relate to yourself growing in life and how it relates to relationships, the way you view yourself, all this stuff. And that's 100% what I believe the arts to be.
Heck yeah. And you're out there providing that opportunity for people.
Definitely trying.
How do people get involved in what you're doing? Is there like a website that people can go enroll, sign up for classes? What does a training session look like? Is there packages that you guys offer?
Yeah, so artandflexion.com. You can go on there and check out the classes. Our Sunday class specifically is an intro class, which is great. So we're going to break down the fundamentals of what pains and aches you're having in your body in your daily life, what's bothering you, so we can address those things specifically. And to be a little more direct about that, let's start with the knee, right? So we have different joints in our body. We have the knee joint, ankle joint, shoulder joint, different things. So whenever there's a problem going on, I'm going to go a little deep into anatomy right now. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So anytime you have a joint pain, unless there's an impact injury, usually the problem is coming from a different area of your body. So if your knee's bothering you, something in the foot may not be working correctly because the joints all affect each other. And with the foot, something that we, hit on the floor on a daily basis, it's supposed to have a certain range of motion. But when we wear things like sandals, or we're walking around barefoot a lot, or we're not working out our feet. We're big on working out our feet.
What about Crocs? Are we good with Crocs?
I mean, we can talk about it later. So we work out our feet a lot because knee pain is something super common with everybody. So we go through each body part and we talk to you about what it's supposed to do, what it's not doing, where you're hurting. And then we start to break that down. So it's not just for people that want to be circus performers. It's just about people that want to be happy humans.
There it is, Barry. Are you ready to be a happy
I think we're about
human?
to sign up, dude.
No, we signed up for a lot of things here, Barry. We just signed up last week. We had the president, CEO of the Long Hairs, a company that, they just had the great opportunity to do the Great Cut, giving back a ton of hair to kids that are in need of it. Pretty cool. Yeah. And so they just said that we signed up to grow our hair and not cut it anymore. So I don't know if we're ready to balance on our chin, Barry. We need to work out a little bit more. We need a little bit more physical build-up.
Maybe after the hair.
Maybe after the hair.
Abs class.
If you guys came to my class, I would be ecstatic.
After a week, we'd probably quit because that's what we do as men, apparently.
That is kind of what we do. When's the last time we went boxing?
That's what you do.
Call you out like that.
You done did, Hannah. You done. You mentioned that the studio you currently own was given to you by the owner.
That was actually an additional company that I had. So I started Art and Flexion 8 years ago.
Okay.
And then I had inherited my coach's company in 2020 when she retired, which was a separate company. But I actually did end up merging them into Art and Flexion because having two companies was a lot of branding expense. So we just kind of combined it, and I'm much happier that way. So it's just Art and Flexion. But it was a huge honor.
I bet. Imagine. That's like me handing the keys over to Vernie. When I retire, it's like, Vernie, go ahead. The brewery is all yours.
Hey, she'd kill it, though.
She does. You got 3 shifts there on a weekly basis. Oh, my God. I'm going to have to look into that and see how we can make that last for you. Just playing, Vernie. Vernie, tell us about your experience at Art and Flexion.
Oh, well, I just started just because I wanted a new hobby, and I excelled.
You better bring that mic closer so we can all hear you.
I excelled a little bit more with my flexibility here. So when I got with Hannah, it was like, I just want to do this for fun. This is a hobby. I'm going to make my body better by just training. And it was just coming into a class and doing a bunch of squats. Like, we did a whole bunch of fucking squats for like years. We still do the squats, but just something as simple as that. And
forever, Vernie.
Yeah, I know they're going to be forever.
Squats are hard.
Squats are very
Am I
hard.
tripping?
They are.
Okay. I do. My max is 33 sessions of it, and that's it, dude. But I'm very non-athletic. I suck. I need to join her class. We need to join, at least go once. We should go at least once to see what's going on.
We
Just
really
see how
nerd
bad we
out.
are.
We nerd out about squats.
Because she said that you reveal the truth about yourself there. Man, I'm a weak asshole man if I go in that
You
class.
think I threw up at boxing? I would throw up at this for sure.
I convinced Barry to join me in boxing class here at House of Boxing on Rio Drive with the homies, and he jumped in. The first class he took, he decided to eat a double Western bacon cheeseburger from
is
Carl's
correct.
Jr.
Yeah.
Like an hour before.
I thought I was going to back out, but I did not.
Needless
I
to
stuck
say,
with
he
it.
was yakking after
Oh,
training. I was like,
no.
dude, come on, we don't do that. But he maintained. He's been going more, and now I feel like this is something else we can throw into the fold.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be so fun.
I feel like I'd probably cry. I wouldn't throw up at this one.
We have another guy on the podcast, Albert. I don't know if he's available right now, but he's been trying to lose 25 pounds by June. But you said this kind of training, you see that little chubby face in the background, this kind of training is not really conducive to lose weight.
Not in the short term. So we're big believers in anything you lose fast, you gain fast back twice.
That is
So it's more about longevity. When you come to us, we want to help you change your lifestyle. right? We want to help you see strength training as a benefit for you for the rest of your life, for your skeletal system, your muscular system. It's going to help keep everything happy and healthy as you get older, because we see what happens sometimes when people do get older and they're hunched down and things are aching, they're on painkillers, different things.
Yes.
So
I came to Hannah and I was a mess.
Were you really?
Yeah, dude.
So
like,
this
I
has
was a
totally
mess.
helped you from a
back
personal
was all
experience.
jacked. Yeah, no, like I was a mess. Like my body was broken down from just the industry I worked in. I worked hard. I worked in the kitchen for a really long time, and that shit broke me. So literally, like, but coming to Hannah, it was really nice coming back and conditioning my body, and here we are. I don't know,
How long you been in?
2018.
Oh, so you're 5 years in.
Yeah.
You're going on 6.
Then there's some shit that happens. I end up hurting myself or injuring, or just life happens. COVID happened, but
Bernie keeps me busy.
yeah, I keep them on their toes.
How many people do you have in your class right now? The class that Vernie is a part of.
I actually try not to have more than 7 people in a class because it's very catered to each person. It's not like just directed by me yelling into a mic at the front of the class. It's I know what each of them have dealt with in their life, what pains they've had, what they've broken, what bones they've broken, and what they do for work, what they do when they're doing things that make their body hurt more.
Yep,
I can tell. I always say I have files on each of them because I just try to keep them each healthy. And you can't put someone into a fitness class without knowing how they sit at work, what they're carrying at work, what crap they're dealing with in their personal life, what kind of shoes they're wearing. All these things go into training somebody. For
That's
me,
quite the spectrum right there. What they're going in their life, what kind of shoes you wear.
Yeah, you have insoles in.
it's about longevity, right?
Yeah.
So if I throw someone into a class, I know nothing about them, and I just tell them to do whatever they see, but maybe they've got a knee injury. Maybe they have a shoulder problem. So then they're just going to hurt themselves more. I have to stop, and there goes that lifestyle change.
How do you cater to each of those? Because like people with injuries, I'm assuming are coming out and trying to rehabilitate themselves. How do you cater to that?
Well, when somebody's trying to come back from an injury, Vernie's a great example. Wrist. She broke her wrist. She's rehabilitated it several times, but she had a lot of scar tissue. So her wrist wouldn't move very well when she first came to me, which is problematic if you want to be a hand balancer, of course, but also like just the health of being able to move your hand as a human being. So we had to go through strength training her fingers, strength training her wrist, and her forearm, because the forearm is a part of how the wrist moves. So breaking that down and doing it slowly, because you can't be in a rush either. Because if she wants to keep doing this, if I want her to be healthy for the next the rest of her life, being able to use her wrist, it has to take time. I can't just have her do the exercises.
Doing it the right way.
Yeah, doing it the right way. Exactly. So that's always the number one way I have to handle things with people that have injuries like that. You have to take that into account or they're going to get hurt. And that's the last thing you want as a coach.
So as a coach, what is it that you guys work towards? Is there competitions? Are there showcases? How does that work?
So not everybody performs at Art and Flexion. It's not a necessity.
Okay.
But a lot of them do like to perform. And we do have shows. And we do events. We get hired for gigs. We'll usually do... a couple years ago, we went to the U of A in Arizona, University of Arizona, and we did a traveling show there, which was pretty awesome. So we brought the whole circus all the way over there, room and board and everything. But we do a lot of local stuff. So we tentatively, we have an event at the Wonder Museum next month.
Downtown?
Yes, downtown. We usually do in-home shows as well, just Art and Flexion and Liberty Station is where we're located. But I got a little burnt out over the last few years, and we don't have one of those on the books right now. But a
lot goes into this. Operating, performing,
I drink
training.
a lot of coffee.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is coffee good for us or not?
I mean, I love coffee, personally. I think everything in moderation, balance. I'm not a nutritionist.
It's all about balance.
Yeah, it is all about balance. I laugh because, I'm a hand balancer and balancing on my hands is my profession. But, there's so many parts of life you can get out of balance. And I will say that I don't have it perfected in my personal life, but I'm trying.
Every day we try, Barry.
Every day.
Every day we try. So what are you currently working for? So you have one tentatively scheduled event.
Yes.
Is there like a number that you guys look into go into the new year? Like, I want to do one a quarter, or I want to enter a contest or a tournament. Are there other academies in the San Diego area that you guys like? I don't know. Like,
just like Karate Kid, is there beef?
Yeah. Like, is there competitions amongst the academies or the studios? How does all that?
All of that does exist.
Okay.
So
the beefs too?
Well, that too, yeah.
They got like a Cobra Kai out there, like
There's
Hey, there's
bending
always
in the
beefs,
streets.
man. It doesn't matter. You can have whatever kind of hobby, whatever kind of little community that you've established and created, and there's still going to be like dramas. Unreal.
Well, I feel like I'm kind of removed from the circus community in San Diego. There are other schools here, but I don't know. We're not as bonded as I guess I
What
wish we
separates
were.
you, or why did you separate?
Me personally, which of course is the only thing I can explain. My coach was very unique in her approach to looking at the other schools. She was always really supportive of other performers and really supportive of us going out and trying other academies and trying other circus schools. She wasn't like, you're mine and I keep you forever. And I feel like, I don't know if I should say this out loud, but I feel like some of the other schools can be a little bit overbearing with wanting to keep their students in one
Protective.
bracket. Yeah, protective, which I understand, a lot from a financial perspective as well. But I think it's just like my coach. It was always more important to her to let the student expand and grow and be artistic in whatever way. And you never know who can teach them something. You can't teach one person everything they know. You want them to be able to be this rainbow of characteristics that they got from different places. And so I think I'm the same way with my students. And I'm always telling them to go out and try other things, try other places, train with other coaches, because it's supposed to be like that. You're supposed to keep growing. So, and that's just my perspective.
Well, it's a good perspective to have. I mean,
Yeah.
it's based on experience.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm always pushing people to go, but I do wish there was more of a bond in the circus community for sure.
Does the circus community actually expand into like a traveling circus? Like what is one that's out there right
Barnum
now?
and Bailey?
Like a Barnum and Bailey or like a Ringling Brothers? Is that something that is also like you guys are a subsidiary part of and they'll invite you guys out? Or do they have their own kind of training regimen where it's completely separate from what you guys do?
Generally, the bigger shows are done there's an auditioning process, and then you become a part of the roster, like Cirque du Soleil. So then you become, if you're on their roster, then they call on you when there's an opening that you fit the criteria for. There's different shows, like some of the ones at Barnum and Bailey isn't necessarily considered a mud show, but like Circus Vargas that comes to town. We have done pre-shows with them before.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so that's been always a good experience.
Was that something that interested you when you started, or?
It's a good question. So
I never get highlighted for good questions, Barry.
you ask really great questions.
Just don't call him funny.
It's hilarious.
He's funny.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
See,
there it
next
goes.
hilarious is coming next. I feel it.
So I actually never did tour globally as a circus performer. But a lot of my friends definitely did. And that's something that also we're pushed to do. Take a contract out of town. Like my coach always told me I should have taken a contract in China because I'm blonde hair, blue eyes, and it would be like unique there. But I just never felt the draw to travel. I traveled a lot as a child. And I loved teaching so much more. I love performing, but I love teaching. So it kind of kept me more like at home and in town. And I did some like small tours, like with Fern Street Circus. I used to tour here in San Diego. We do neighborhood tours, which was really awesome. But for the most part, I didn't do a whole lot of on-contract, out-of-state, out-of-country things. So personal preference.
Vernie,
yes.
what do you want to do with this experience that you've created for yourself? Do you want to join some sort of circus performance, add yourself to a roster and potentially jump in there? Or is this just simply like for like emotional, physical therapy, just kind of like building a better you?
It is really for building a better me. But the plus with it is that we get to perform, and Hannah puts on her shows, so that's kind of cool. And even locally, there's gigs she says we can get, but I mean, I literally need to get my act together, like a couple acts. So,
Oh, I get it.
Get your act together. I
Get your
get
act
it.
together, lady.
but no.
Hey, you were a whisperer. I know you yell, fool. I know. I've seen you talk to customers. Let's see.
I've been on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, no, but for me, I'm like, for this year, I want to perform. Like, I would like to do 4 performances in the year, because it is hard, like juggling a full-time job, a part-time job, training and more training.
You have a full slate, man.
Yeah, man, this
You totally do.
is wild. Yeah, no, my schedule is I have Sunday evenings available to do all the adulting,
What days do you train?
With Hannah right now, I'm training on Wednesdays. It's like a 3-hour window that I train with Hannah, but I've been doing some other classes, and those are dance classes. It's been burlesque classes because I feel for my act. I want a little more dancey, you know. With circus, it's
So you're literally building an act.
I am.
That's dope.
It takes fucking time.
Have you guys seen her act?
On video, just like when you
Like
post it
little
on,
snippets?
yeah, like
Yeah.
snippets.
Like
yeah.
the full thing?
No, I've never. I lost the one I did. I
Man.
accidentally deleted it.
Did you really?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
the one we did 4 years ago.
Okay.
On like,
There's a lot of work
Your
that
act
goes
was
in.
really different then, though.
yeah, no, it has changed. It has changed.
But there's a lot of like effort that goes into creating these.
And my keg act is unique in the sense that I'm using fucking kegs, dude. It's not, and it's one keg. There's 5 kegs, and then you got to move the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And look like elegant, and then
Yeah,
present a
that's
cool
true.
trick.
There you go.
So it's like, how do you do that? And
What's the
who-
reception? What do people do when you perform?
you know, I don't know. I'm not really paying attention.
You're in the zone.
I'm just trying not to fucking pass out from not breathing and just like, did I hit this little trick right? Am I gonna slip on this fucking floor? Cause how many times have I performed? We performed at the what was it, 10 Barrel? It was an anniversary before
Okay.
COVID. I did that. That was like my little adapted, keg act. And then we went to LA and we were at the LA Academy. We did a little
See, I even
act.
forget some of the things
Right, we
we've
did
done
that.
at this point.
And then with Hannah, I was on stilts for her first show that I was with her. Like you let me use the stilts.
Yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah.
I practiced in the brewery. So I stilted out on that one.
It's tilted out.
Right. And then she had another show and I had my little keg act. And it's been cool. Like,
How long have you been doing this again?
fuck, since the
6 years almost, you said, huh?
yeah.
You're all in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good hobby. It
Heck
keeps
yeah.
it keeps me healthy. Like, this is how I can work at Three Punks. Like,
Could you
this-
get create like a legit side career on this?
like I could get paid to perform. Like
That would be
those-
awesome.
Like,
Yeah, good for you.
eventually, but I literally like have to get an act together and like a costume, wardrobe, all that. Like, I like a total package. So it's not cheap. It takes time.
Yeah, what does prepping for an event cost you?
We don't want to talk about that.
It's a lot, huh?
Well, the way I prep, the way
Over
'cause
under
it's, like,
1,500.
way over.
Oh my gosh.
Well, because I'm training, right? I'm
Yeah, yeah.
training with Hannah. That costs money.
Your time is money.
It is exactly money. So, and then the costume, and then whatever hair and makeup, because I like to be done.
And you got people for that.
I
You
do
got
have
you got
people.
like
I've
specific
been-
people you
I-
work with.
Vernie goes
Yes.
over the top, but she
do.
looks great.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, my act is not like the way I would like it to be, but now it's like I'm getting there. I'm building it. We're stacking kegs now. It's a thing. So it's kind of hard because it's not easy to have to like lug in 5 kegs to show up and then perform and like be ready. It's a lot. Now I got to get a keg carrier for me
Good for you.
at this point. So I'm working on a couple acts that I'd like to do, and one's gonna be a little more burlesque, right, with the single keg, and then we have our circus one where we're stacking. But it's like having a place, a venue, all that stuff. Like, I think about that because it's not like we don't have easy. It's not just setting up one apparatus and a whole bunch of people can perform on it. Everybody is unique.
Individual to their own
Yeah.
performance.
Yes,
Yeah, you need
exactly.
a stage crew, set all the
You literally-
props too.
Yep.
Good for
Sound,
you.
all that. So when she's doing it, it's her by herself, and then we just show up and we're making sure we have our act together for that little showing, and it's cool. Like even
Top tier student over here.
Oh yeah, she's great.
why wouldn't I be, Steve? You know how I. You know.
You're
Favorite
very
employee,
thorough.
right?
She's very thorough, man. She's very thorough, diligent at her work. Long time employee at 3 Punk.
Yep.
Very long time, right?
What are we at? We're gonna be hitting 6 years.
We're gonna hit, yeah, because the brewery's gonna turn 7.
Yeah, I'm 6.
Good on you. Yeah,
Happy birthday. So
we,
you'll be happy anniversary. Yeah, it's a good time.
we keep the good ones around. Good
Vernie's
on
a
you.
good one.
You're from Mexico, you said.
Yes, I am.
You grew up in Mexico, or
I did.
All right.
Yeah. I grew up
Whereabouts?
in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto
and,
Vallarta.
Guadalajara a little bit. I went to a British American school there.
okay?
Yeah, my family owned a chartering business. We had a 53 by 56 foot trimaran we lived on.
Oh, really?
Yes, and we would take people out. There were monkeys. It was crazy, but
I'm just gonna slide that in there, bro.
yeah, I learned a lot in Mexico. I spent a lot of time by myself in Mexico. I was probably the only white girl I was the only white girl on the block, definitely. But I had all the friends. Yeah, I was kind of an entrepreneur from a young age.
From the get.
Yeah, not in like the best way. Like I used to steal things and resell them.
Oh, very nice.
But
yes.
that's how I got started.
Robin Hood, absolutely.
I call that entrepreneurial minded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Ooh, I
definite-
said that good.
Yeah, entrepreneurial.
Entrepreneurial. I
minded.
didn't
Yeah.
even stumble. Ooh.
Yeah, that would be how it was. But yeah, I was always on an adventure, getting lost, getting brought home by the police.
No way.
Yeah, I was a strange little girl, very curious. But
How long were you guys down there?
I was probably 12 when we moved. We moved back here because someone sunk our boat. So, but
This story just has so many
I'm telling you,
turns.
this is great,
Jack.
right? Like her stories
Somebody
are awesome.
sunk our boat.
yeah.
Didn't think I was going to hear that today.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think my dad was kind of a dirty businessman.
Oh,
and,
no.
there was some policia situation, but for the most part, when we lived there, like we lived 2 miles off the coast. Like we would dock occasionally, but I spent a lot of time staring out into the darkness of the ocean.
Wow.
You know,
A lot of time to reflect.
yeah, a lot of time to reflect.
It's amazing you didn't start a metal band.
Truly shocking.
Unreal, Barry. That's where you went with
That
that?
was too easy.
No, I have some weird stories that honestly I feel like no one would even believe. from
Like
that time.
mermaids are in the
Aliens?
ocean or what? What did you see?
That's why you want to
Would
be
you?
a mermaid. That's why you're a mermaid.
What'd you see?
You know, it could be true. I do have 2 web toes, so it's possible.
Yeah. that's-
Amphibious feet. What did you see out there? What's going on?
Oh man, so my little brother was born on the boat, right? My mom went through her whole 9-month pregnancy 2 miles out at sea. Quite impressive. But my little brother was probably like, I don't know, maybe 2 days old, right? On the boat. We're like out, there's a huge storm. Like I'm talking like the kind where the boat goes up and then you just crash onto the other side. And we had to get off the boat and we saw an island. There was an island. My little brother's 2 days old. And we took the dinghy to the island.
That's a small boat, Barry.
Yeah.
That's not just a nickname.
That's not just a clever nickname. It's a small boat, brother.
And the dinghy flipped over.
No.
And we like crawled to the island and there were people that just lived on this little island. And we stayed the weekend with them.
Good people? Welcoming
Yeah,
people?
Good people.
Cannibals?
Yeah.
Why does
No.
it sound like
No.
an island?
I couldn't even tell you where it was, but
No,
I
I'm
do
saying,
remember
like the
it.
show Gilligan's Island.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You guys got off the boat, you crashed, and then you were there. But at least you got to leave.
What happened to your little brother?
He was fine, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Tell me.
That's love.
That sounds like my older sister. Damn.
No, I'm actually not close with my family at all. But that is some of the crazier stories from being there. But yeah, I got attacked by a monkey.
Oh,
Also, when we were docked in Mexico, I remember
a lot of monkeys in Mexico.
Well, this was one of the big monkeys. His name was Jose.
Of course.
we-
Most big monkeys are named Jose.
It's a good name.
We were at the end of the dock, so I always had to pass Jose on my way to land. And his owner would always let him like be on a leash, and he would always try to scoop me up on the way past, and it was terrifying as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one day,
Hell
It's
yeah,
like
that
the
is.
monkeys from the Wizard of Oz.
It's like you're over here dodging, ducking, jumping over monkeys. That's not,
Friggin' Jose.
one day he got me.
Oh, fucking Jose.
Yeah, he threw me in the water. It was terrifying, but
A monkey threw you in the water.
yeah, they put him down not long after that, actually. But
Probably because he drowned somebody. Shit.
could
No,
be.
because you don't throw white women if you're a monkey
Well,
into the
yeah,
water.
that was a
There's
wrap,
rules in
especially-
Mexico.
Are there
Who
rules
owned a
in
monkey?
Mexico?
Who owned a monkey in Mexico?
A guy lived on a dock.
It was a neighbor. He had like a smaller boat next to us. I don't remember his name, but I do know that Jose got put down at some point.
Oh,
So-
man.
Jose was being a
I'm going to
dick.
guess the owner's name was Jose, too.
We learned a lot today, Barry. We learned a lot today. We learned more about Vernie's hobby. Is it a passion now?
Yeah.
Are you passionate about this?
I am. Well, I mean, I get pretty passionate about
Yeah?
this.
And we learned about Hannah on the Local Love Monday. All of the things. What else can you tell us before we wrap this up, Miss Hannah? I have a feeling you said you were nervous when you got on here.
Of course I'm nervous.
Are you still nervous?
I mean, slightly, yeah.
Why? Why are you nervous? You're just telling your story.
I know. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people can relate to the fact of talking about your passion. It feels so true to you, and sometimes telling the truth out loud. for
Easy
more people to
conversation when
see.
you're doing that, you know?
Yeah. It is easy conversation. But still, when something means something to you, I think it's kind of natural to be slightly nervous.
We're going to have to bring her back. What do you think, Barry?
I think we do a
Would you-
check-in
would you-
episode after we go to class.
Would you join us after we join? Oh, yeah. That's contingent. We have to go to join you in one of your training sessions.
Yes.
And then you'll come back and you'll ridicule us in front of everybody.
I'll bring a camera.
No, don't do that. don't do that. We'll
I mean,
bring
we could
Albert.
do that.
We'll bring Albert.
We'll bring Albert.
You guys are gonna have to
Our
sign
monkey.
contracts.
Our monkey's named Albert. We name our monkey Albert. So we're going to bring him, and he's going to try to lose 25
Oh
pounds.
my God,
So,
Ken's gonna
Oh,
hate
that.
it.
You know what? I
Albert.
think you'll do
Ken's
it.
gonna hate
oh, she's like, oh, that Albert.
Oh, that.
That Albert we're going to be bringing. Thank you for coming in today, Hannah.
No,
Thank you
for
very
having
much.
me.
Vernie, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, it'll be nice to see what else we have going on.
Yeah, keep us
Yeah, we'll
posted.
be
we're
back. We'll be
we're
posted
definitely
about
going to be in tune with what you guys are doing at Art and Flexion, or Hannah as a trainer and a coach, and Vernie as a student and a potential touring performer soon
She could totally do
if
it.
she gets her act together.
Yeah, man, gotta do it.
Final thoughts, Barry?
I'm down for this class. Sounds dangerous, and I'm in.
I know, dude. Oh, my wife's gonna get mad because
How long does it take till I can stand on kegs?
How long before I can walk
I
on
don't
my
think I can do it.
hands?
You guys, it will be really fun though, because you'll learn something about yourselves. I'll learn something about you. You have some
I
more
just want to learn how to walk on my
flexibility.
hands. I
Do
want
you
to go
think
up and
Steve
down
could do
stairs.
that in one day?
No,
You have to be able to put your hands on the ground with your feet on the ground at the same time.
I can do that.
You can.
I can do that.
You can. Bend
Well, how separated do my feet have to be?
Shoulder
Do they have to
width.
be? Oh, fuck yeah, I can touch. My palms will touch.
Okay, well then, yeah.
He's in.
That is really,
Patreon, that's coming to you. Later.
it's really hard to believe.
No, I can't. I'm pretty flexible for an old like
We used to be
fucking
sponsored by Manscaped.
dad bod dude. Like I can kind of, I can still like, I can do some
That's
stretching.
impressive.
I can do
Like,
some
most people
stretching.
can't
So we'll see.
touch the ground with their fingertips.
Thank you, Hannah. Awesome to meet you. Awesome.
Same.
Thank you, Vernie, for bringing Hannah into
I've been
the
trying,
circle.
man. I've been trying.
And you did it.
I gotta bring
Success.
something cool on. You know, it's not just me. Like I don't. Everybody's like,
This
"Come on the
motherfucker, this
podcast."
motherfucker said I can't. I got to bring something cool, not just me.
But you're also enough.
She is cool.
Like,
But
I'm not
really
that,
though,
like, what?
with Emo Brown, it's really awesome that you guys have a voice for small businesses and that you do things around here. It's truly
Accidental on purpose. We didn't think it was gonna turn out like this, but as soon as I saw that, oh shit, there's a benefit to just having the friends come on the podcast and talk about what they're doing and promote their businesses because other people are listening. And from that, it turns to one into another into another. And then pretty soon you've talked to a lot of businesses in the community and it just turns into one of those network type of things. And it's like, who can't deal with that? Well, I'm a small business owner. You're a small business owner. You know, we're all involved heavily in the community. So if we can provide our part, handle, do your thing. Today, you became a part of that. Thank you very much, Hannah, for coming in. We look forward to going and breaking our asses in your class.
Yeah.
Barry, Albert, we're doing it.
It's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be fun.
Absolutely.
You said Albert, and I hit the mute button. It was so natural.
Thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate it.